Okay, left, right, out. We're going to do some more on this Ukraine-Russia thing. So Putin, you know, he's had a number of conferences. He was with Macron, the French Prime Minister, and then afterwards they did a press conference. And I don't know how much is being reported to by CNN or MSNBC or even Fox News or whoever the like is, but Putin pretty much laid it out, right? Like I said, if you followed some of my videos leading up to this, he doesn't necessarily just want to go take Ukraine for the sake of taking Ukraine, right? His deal has to do with Crimea right now, I believe, and he alluded to that. But he pretty much laid out the tactics. All right, so he said if the the NATO nations brought Ukraine into NATO, if they were to do that, and then under Article 5, and then tried, so this is the key one, and then tried to retake Crimea, he said that would unleash pretty much hell, that within a blink of an eye, there'd be a huge military response, and we can only imagine what that could be because Russia has nuclear capabilities. They have nuclear subs, which, you know, I would like to think if we did anything, you know, I always think this, even when I was in those, like, hopefully we have well thought out plans. We know where all the nukes are and we can take them out or whatever preemptively, or know where all the but we don't. I mean, they're just not that. We just don't have that capability at the moment. We probably know a vast majority of them that are stationary. The ones that are transitory, or that be small tactical nukes, or the ones in the submarines. Those are a little harder to track. So, and we know. So I'm going to bring up some stuff from years ago right now. So if you don't remember, there was a number like 32, which I don't know. Some of this could be propaganda, right? But there was some intelligence. This is just to keep in your brain housing group to think about this. The 32 tactical suitcase nukes were missing out of the inventory of the old Soviet Empire. Now, who knows if they're actually missing? Who knows if they're strategically staged throughout the world? We don't know. If it's 30, even if the number's 32. But, you know, just to be, let's just say that the intelligence community is, you know, exaggerating because it's kind of what they do. I would say that, hang on real quick, I gotta make sure I'm taking the right road here. I would say that if the intelligence community is exaggerating even a little bit, we can knock that number down and just say, I won't even go half, let's just go and say there's only 10, maybe 5 tactical nukes that are running around. That's 5 too many, to be totally honest, because in the metropolitan area, you're talking about significant casualties and then just, you know, the aftermath. But that's, you know, 1 too many, to be totally honest. I mean, you don't want any tactical nukes running around. Anyway, so then if you take it back a number of years ago, there was some intel that came out that Russia actually had kill teams stationed throughout the world that would have the ability to take out various, whatever, leaders or government officials and such when need be. So they're essentially cells. They're operating all throughout the world in various nations, which at the time when that came out, that was viewed as good intel, and so we have to operate unless something counter has been discovered, which I'm not aware of, that could be possibly the case. So we know that they have that running around. So then you put the tactical nukes together with that, who knows what could actually happen with that. The overall thing is Russia has a number of weapons and abilities. Yeah, they don't have the naval capability we do, like no nation does, to project power. And the French and the British barely, they have like 1 or 2 carriers. I think they each might have a carrier. I don't even know if they have any more than that. I'm not really privy to that. I just know that the French and the English have their own carrier group. So to be able to project naval power, we do have a, you know, advantage of that. Now, what he said and he alluded to was that, or he actually said this and then alluded to something else. He said that NATO has the capability, which would align with, like I said, the naval force, the naval projection of power, and the ability to, you know, quickly and effectively maneuver on the Russian forces with NATO, the NATO nations, is we're still far beyond them in that capability. We're deteriorating on the individual level, on the strategic level, on the, just all levels, but we still have the capability. He acknowledged that, hey, NATO nations they'll take us, right? We just don't have the power in a single nation, coming up against a conglomerate. But then he said, and he alluded to using nuclear weapons. Now, you can look at that tactically and think, okay, well, what would he do? Well, one, we probably know where the stationary nukes are, the ICBMs and whatnot that Russia has. I would hope that at the very least you have that. Like, I can understand not understanding where submarines are because they are mobile, you move around, tactical nukes. I mean, I'm not saying there's an excuse for not knowing as in the military. That's what we pay intelligence agencies for. That's what we pay the military and the military intelligence to understand these risks and assess them and to have this intelligence. But we should at least know where the stationary ones are and be able to take those out. But then you go to the submarines and those other mobile nuclear weapons that Putin could unleash upon us. And I don't care about the bombers. You can see the propaganda coming out like, oh, there's a couple of Russian bombers that were flying over. We had to intercept. It's like this is standard operating procedure for the propagandists and the media to push the war. But anyway, back. Putin laid it out. This is what's going to happen. There's no excuses. He even implored the press, hey, put this in print. Put this in the TV. Let these people know of these nations pretty much. Like, hey, you'll be dragged into a war if you take Ukraine and make it a NATO country and try to take Crimea. He didn't even say that if it just became a NATO nation. Really, the line in the sand is Crimea. And it's a strategic area for Russia. There's a naval base there. It's also strategic for Ukraine. And like I said, they had, I've said before, that was their main hub for their what Navy they had. Their Marine Corps was there. A lot of the Marines' families lived there. And when that got taken over, you had half their Marine Corps, or I'm just throwing that out, it was a significant portion of the Marine Corps, pretty much lay down arms because those insurgents and then the Russians themselves, they were afraid that their families would be used against them. So it's a strategic area navally, as a port and just economically. So anyway, we'll end it there. I'll have another video about more of the economic issues that are going on within our nation right now. But right now, I just want to say that this is what Putin has laid it out, and to think, and we're still over here saber rattling. It's like, is Ukraine our fight? I don't think so anymore. We can only do so much. We can't stoke the war. If it comes to us, fine, let's defend. But we got to stop stoking this beast, all right? We are we're the sleeping dragon, as Japanese alluded to, but the Russians are a sleeping bear. And yeah, we can kill that bear, but we're going to get hurt. We're going to get tore up. And the world's going to get tore up. We need to walk carefully, especially. We're in a fragile state as a nation, militarily, economically. I don't know if we can take this. And to think that, just like we've done in the past, you can pull something like this in order to get your poll numbers, in order to become a wartime president, in order to project some kind of strength, which you don't have, which I don't even know what's going on in the briefings to Biden. Because apparently, like some of these guys, when you listen to the State Department talk, it's what kind of intel briefings are you getting? Can we even trust this? Are they giving you all this? Or are you just incapable of processing and developing a rational thought that's counter or just acts any kind of political agenda? It's really mind-boggling. But anyway, peace.